Okay, this is a long-term review on the Coachmen Freedom Express Blast 17 BLSE. I've had this trailer since 2021, so almost 3 years. It's been a very good trailer. No major issues, some little things that I was able to take care of myself. I've done quite a few little modifications to it. I'll start out with the basics. I pull it with a half-ton Chevy pickup with a 5.3. I use a weight distributing anti-sway hitch. And hate to say it, but it's important you keep it locked up. I use a hitch lock in the front. And I also throw a cable around the axle and lock it up in the rear. For the storage compartments, I added a combination lock so I don't have to mess with the key. And I was starting to do some damage to it, so I added this little strip, some angle aluminum, so I didn't bend the aluminum door frame moving stuff in and out. I have a little bubble level in the front. And if I want to get real precise on leveling the vehicle, I have this Cori, if that's how you say it, leveling device that hooks up to my phone, and I can level the trailer that way. That's pretty handy when you need to move forward and backward to get in the right spot. I have the solar mounted on the driver's side in the front compartment. It's an MPP solar 24 volt system. It's 2.4 kilowatts. And that's actually enough to run the AC for a little while. I'm running two 100 amp hour LifePo 4 batteries. Here is the solar panel set up on my roof, running two Rich Solar 200 watt 24 volt panels. They're hooked in series, running a 15 amp fuse. And I also ran a wire between the two panels in case something should happen, they come off. The wire will catch them so they don't go flying down the road. On this side of the trailer, I also added this tube for holding the sewer lines. Very convenient to have it right there. The sewer hose storage compartment that they give you is, I don't know what it's for, but nothing I have will fit in there. I use a Mopica LPG tank monitor to know what my level is in one of the tanks. Here's what the app looks like on your phone. As far as any issues on the outside of the trailer, I did have a fresh water tank leak, and this is how I fixed it. First, you have to identify what plastic it's made out of. As you can see by the chart, it's polyethylene. And the next step is you have to pick the right rod to melt into the leak to fix it. I actually have access to a nitrogen welder. It uses the nitrogen, comes out through here, it's heated. If you don't have access to one of these, which most people won't, you can use some kind of iron like this. and it'll pretty much work almost as well. When I was done with the plastic weld, I used some of this IES Intermix 40-second glue over the top of it just to be sure there is no leaks. And then to seal the underbelly insulation, I use this Coachmen tape. This is where the tank was leaking from. It was up on the top of the filler pipe inlet that they had installed. Now the black is the glue I put on top. The weld is actually the same color as the tank material. As you can see, it's very tight in there and hard to get to, but I didn't want to drop the tank. And it was actually leaking on the very top. Whenever I filled it, it would leak till it came down below that level. So I actually had to cut a hole in my insulation. Part of it was already there. And I just cut it back and open it up. I actually had to use a mirror to get up in there to inspect it to make sure the hole was fixed. On the underside of the trailer, this bar ripped out when I was driving down the road, this bar right here. And you can see where it rubbed on the highway, just the one side fell down, so I just bungee corded it up till I got to where I was going. And then when I got back, I fixed that, and instead of using the sheet metal screws, I used nut certs and screwed it in. And then I added another bar here. I generally go down the road with a lot of water because I'm always boondocking, and I don't know where I'm going to find my next water since I'm usually out in the desert. I added this step support, and the jury's still out on that if it's even worth the hassle. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It just folds down and gives a little support. I also use a trailer pressure monitoring system. I can monitor from the driver's seat. That just gives me a little peace of mind. Here's the tire pressure monitor inside my truck. All right, let's go inside and see what I've done in here. Before we walk in, got a little privacy cover on the window. Fake stained glass. Okay, I use this for hauling motorcycles. That's the reason I got the toy hauler. But I didn't want something too big. I want something that was easy to tow. And the bikes mount right in this mount here. It's made by MX Mounts. It just comes with this part right here, and I add this plate so I could span the tanks underneath, so I could mount it to the frame. And how it works, these goes up through the pegs. After you put this up through the pegs, you put this plate on the top of the peg and then slide that in, and it holds the bike. I'll see if I can find some pictures of that setup. It actually works very well. It's quick, fast, and secure. I can actually fit 2 bikes in here on this rack. You could probably fit a quad in here and that's about it. Trailer would have to be a little bit longer to put anything else in there. I added a rack to hold tie downs for when I put other things in here. And of course this has the screen that goes on the back, but if you watched any videos, you know all the things that this trailer comes with, and you don't need me to tell you about those. I can monitor the temperature inside and out. It keeps going to the Canadian temperature for some reason. I have various little hooks all over the place, just the kind that stick on so they can come off easy and move. This was my thoughts on mounting a trash can. Just put it in there with a bungee cord. It's right by the door, so you can just reach in the door and throw stuff away. And over here, it was just an open space. So I decided to add some cabinets for storage here. And just the wheel well at the bottom. So I just went to Home Depot and bought a couple cabinets and put them together and painted it to match. Put some magnetic latches in them. And this one I cut a hole, and that's where the dirty laundry goes. I bought some scratch and dent cabinets, so they were quite reasonable. In the bathroom, I just put a hook on here to tie the curtain back for travel. A Oxygenics shower head, and that does work quite well. And then a couple soap dispensers for soap and shampoo. The trailer's pretty small, but it suits my needs perfectly, and it's just myself and my wife in here. Up front we added a memory foam mattress. The one that came in here stock was really bad, so it didn't take as long to change that. Store the table up here, driving down the road. Added a 12-volt cigarette lighter plug to plug a electric 12-volt heat blanket into for when it gets really cold out. That way you don't have to run the heater so much. And this pop-out window is kind of good and bad. The thing I don't like about it is it has one position out and that's it. It's not adjustable. And you got this arm that you have to move around to open the window, and it kind of gets in the way. So it's either like that or it's closed. And we sleep with our heads at this end. Maybe if we swapped around, it wouldn't be such a big deal. Okay, as far as anything that's gone wrong with this, I currently have a leak in the faucet. I can't seem to tighten it up anymore. It's not doing any good, so I'll probably just upgrade the faucet, put something nicer in there anyway, because it's leaking right where the faucet connection is to the water line. I have a small leak right where the cold water hooks into the faucet, and it looks like it's coming from the top by that blue plastic part. Have not fixed it yet. It looks like I'm going to have to pull the whole thing apart and look at it better. I tried tightening it and it didn't help. You can see the water running down the line. It kind of leaks on and off. On the heater, the sail switch went out. Here's what a sail switch looks like. That was a pretty easy fix. And all this stuff I could have got fixed on warranty, but it was such a hassle to try to take it down and get it done that I decided to do it myself. In the kitchen area, I just made this little cutting board that'll fit over the burner. I don't hardly use these burners. I mostly just barbecue outside with a propane barbecue. This little grill makes a nice device, good for drying the dishes and just gives you some extra counter room. Okay, that's about it. If you have any questions, just let me know. And I'll see you in the next video. I'll leave you with some pictures of the trailer in use.